hello everyone to name course etiquette. So we're going to talk about on the internet usernames and what to do and what not to do when it comes to names. Number one, numbers. Numbers is a very tricky but also very simple thing. Don't have it in your username. Usually it makes you look like a cunt, especially if you're trying to replace it with vowels. That is very 2010. We're in 2020. You're so sophisticated now. You should not be using those at all. For example, this name right here. Name is Benny Tenny. There's a 3 on the E on the Tenny. But that makes no sense because Benny with an E is already there. So it would make sense if it's like key was on, but it's perfectly fine. Next up is two-syllable names that are very hard to pronounce. Now, you might be thinking, 2 syllables, what's that hard to pronounce? Let me tell you one. How about that? Pithy. Pithy. It sounds like pity, except if you have a lisp. No sense. You shouldn't have the lips, T. And it's just a terrible name. Imagine trying to say it like 30 times over, pithy. It doesn't rhyme. It does not work. It's like I have a psychiatrist right here tell us about why pithy is a bad name.
Bro.
Pithy is such a bad name, right?
Yeah, bro. Pithy is I've been studying psychology for 75 years. My name
Holy
is
shit.
My name's Dr. Ayush. I'm actually Indian, but I took the Michael Jackson treatment to get.
Nice.
Anyways, alright.
That's how you know he's smart.
So going through the tactics of making a pleasant name, alright, there's like a certain geometry to it, like all that. Alright, so that
Makes sense.
That makes things like beautiful to the human mind, alright, and things unpleasant. So now there's 2 kinds of names. You can have it where it's a mashup name and a unique name, right? You can have it like Lil Nazi, trash name, but that's an example of a bad compound name, and then there's a unique name, right? Like give me an example. PewDiePie, all right? Irregular name, all right? Now, the thing with unique names is they're great until they're not, all right? Dr. Pithy is wrong for thousands of reasons, all right?
Thousands of reasons, guys.
Let's go through the basic 5, all right? Number 1, all right? Doctor doesn't add anything to it. It's not related to your content. The title doesn't make it sound any more official or anything, all right?
It doesn't make it sound any more official,
Number
guys.
2, now the part of it is pithy, all right? Pithy has no meaning, all right? Pithy sounds like pissy, all right? It's just.
Do you really want to sound like piss, guys?
It's just nasty, all right?
Nobody wants to sound like piss.
It's
Nobody.
just a absolute horrid name. All right, when I first heard it, I puked, bro. At first, I thought it was a dog was named Pithy. All right, it's just.
Doctor, I'd like to say, if I ever met a dog named Pithy, I would take out my Glock 19, shoot it across the head. Would you not do that too, Doctor?
I would do that only for the dog's soul, because if you're stuck in a body named Pithy, I hope you go to heaven as soon as possible.
True.
So, another thing about Pithy is Pithy is like squishy, and then it goes like piss, squishy piss, like a ball of marshmallow piss. It's just nasty, it's horrible, it's
Nasty.
Alright.
I would not. Look, whoever would name himself Pithy, you're probably artistic. Okay? Can we agree on that? Probably also a furry. Furry.
Now, I am laughing, but that is actually true. We have research in that field leading to that conclusion. It's not verified completely yet, not concrete yet, but we have studies relating to that.
And at the same time, you would heavily support Trump, like guns, and be named Connor. Not wrong.
You are not wrong. 70% of white people named Connor are actually racist, but they're also furries.
True.
And they're.
Like, for example, I went to the census of just all statistics about names and usernames, and never once around the quadrillion billion names was Pithy ever in the names. But it's insane. At least that means we know that humans out there are not too dumb to the point where they would name their username, Pithy.
Now here's the thing, alright? That's actually not a coincidence, it's actually a carefully calculated thing, because by the time that humans were intelligent enough to start writing down historical records, right? By that time, they'd already discovered, like, lots of things, like, right?
Like what?
We had innovation all around, alright? Progress was slow, but progress was also very quick compared to other animals, right? Like, our brains were much bigger by the time we started writing, alright? Maybe before historic records, kids were named that, but they probably all died due to natural selection, which is why we don't see anyone named Pithy, right?
That is a very true, Doctor. I'd like to keep on going on that.
We have a kid here named Pithy himself. He is very
This kid will tell us whether or not Pithy is a good name or a bad name.
he is very suicidal because he does not like the name Pithy. Don't worry,
Do you
child.
like the name Pithy? He's running away. That is how much he hates this name. He just ran away with his cars.
He's ashamed.
He is very much ashamed that
You
the
know
name even exists in this
that-
entire world.
There was such a small population of kids named Pithy, alright? In fact, there's only about 15 that we know of in the whole span of humanity and animal world. And 100% of those kids named Pithy are trans.
Trans.
They're 50% of the time, they're closeted furries. Alright, how do you feel about this?
I think it's 100% accurate. Now, the idea that someone would name their child this is completely theoretical. I think we all have a gene in our brains that help us realize that bad usernames are just bad. And to a certain extent, for some people. I would say if you do not have this gene, you would probably be brain dead. Would I not be wrong, Doc?
You are completely correct. In fact, even man's best friend, dogs themselves, have that gene in them. Alright? Now, they are smarter than other animals, and that is also present by the existence of that gene in their brains. But here's the thing, alright? Now there's a virus that goes through dogs, alright? Now if you have sex with a dog, you can get it, alright?
Oh my God!
And
the dog?
this actually leads to a cancer that actually develops in the brain region where that gene is located, and it will squeeze it and stop its function. But once it does that, alright, now that gene actually spreads out a certain hormones that keep the cancer growing. So once that is eliminated, it will stop growing. Alright, completely natural process. So if you live with like 5 dogs, right? One of them named Isaac, alright, and you have sex with him, alright, you might actually get this gene.
Now, if I'm not wrong, Doctor, but no animal in history or any of the thousands and thousands of species currently housed on this earth, none of them in their vocabulary have this name Pithy. Am I wrong?
You are completely correct, but actually, this gene can be created by a certain Chinese spell. Alright, it's alright. It's made from bats mixed with piss and maybe some poop and cum. You mix it all together, and you have to be a closeted furry for it to work.
Doctor, so this kind of aligns with my research once again, because I've went to furry conventions for research, and I asked them to do a swab test for me, and for each and every one of them, they had a very large deterioration of said gene, to the point where it seemed very, very, like, insane. Like, why do all this population have lost this gene? And your research has enlightened me on that completely, and I'm astounded.
It is absolutely not a coincidence at this point. Alright, now, it isn't as backed up of a theory as, let's say, gravity. Gravity is such a like, concrete thing that we don't even consider it the gravity theory. We just say gravity, right?
But to refute this, we've had very little people with a complete deterioration of this gene completely. That would be completely insane, I would say. Like, I've never heard of anyone named Pithy, Doctor.
Okay, but okay. Now, is there treatment? Now, although we haven't done lots of research, there is treatments, alright? And so, The treatments are they come at a variety of costs, but one of them for one kid we actually found that just telling him better names, alright, and reasons why Pithy is a bad name actually improved his cognitive function.
Hey, that is insane.
For example, one of them would be like, well, actually, one of them would be like, instead of pithy, if you want to have the same tone, I don't know why you want to have the same tone as pithy, but you could say like,
Stylite?
stylite works.
Stylite is it's got a meaning to it. It's not a very youth word, and it really rolls off the tongue. You could say it multiple times without it really like feeling mushy. Stylite, right? With pithy, it sounds like you're puking multiple times over, and someone's giving you anal beads up your asshole. But not wrong, doctor.
That is completely true, except some people have actually described the feeling as anal beads dipped in gasoline and lit on fire.
Yes.
But
makes perfect sense, probably because their dog pegs them.
But the thing is about this that they actually like that sensation. Because they're closeted furries.
So that is astounding.
Right. Now wait. Now pithy. Now Stylite isn't the only option, right? Because let's say there's multiple other people named Stylite, and you just don't want to pick that name right online. Right? There are lots of different names. You can even legally change your name if you're Stylite. Right? I mean, if you're named Pithy, well, if you live long enough to reach 18, most of the time you don't. But like,
I would probably want to refute this by saying that a popular YouTuber, which many people might hate, and might probably hate Dream Stance in general, is Dream. Yes, as I said, Dream. A commonly used word that is, like, you'd probably think there's billions of usernames with this, right? But it was able to become one targeted individual, and it actually kind of works in multiple ways because of the genius behind it.
Well, that requires a skill set beyond the average people, especially with their brain size. All right, the only reason the word dream has become synonymous with the username Dream, the Minecraft player, speedrunner. All right, is because, well, first he has tons of speedruns. All right, he makes content which a lot of people like. You know, he's all around good at his content, and lots of people know him for it, and he's all right. But if you make trash content, if you're the brand new rice gum or phase rug, you know, eating spicy rice dipped in cinnamon challenge, snore up nose, gone sexual kind of stuff, then you won't be able to do that. All right, and let's say you're doing something like gameplay where it's just you playing.
Let's say they want to do, for example, CS:GO surfing with a monotone voice overlay, voice recording talking about, let's say, Dream Stance, children, or otherwise known as cringe, like what we said, furries and dog pecking them.
That works.
That would work, right?
Well, actually, it depends on how you do it, right? So there are some people like Optimus, you know, like there are a lot of YouTubers who do that kind of like commentating on something content. Like, for example, if a person breaks down someone's car window for their dog, but the air conditioning was on, there was like, you know, but the dog was like actually safe, like it wasn't even a hot day, right? Then it's just random destruction of property, and someone was to commentate on that on the platform YouTube, right? All right, with like, you know, actual description of the situation and everything, right? And like development of the YouTube video, it would work, right? But if you're doing this, sorry for being rude, but this is our average Pithy user.
Oh yeah, hey guys, welcome to me Pithy.
That is a perfect representation, Doctor.
If you're doing that, then you don't gain an audience. You just won't. All right.
You just won't, right?
So
well, let's say they were to realize this and were trying to go into streaming, a controversially more, dare I say, less efforted kind of streaming line.
Yeah, they're a lot more lenient with what gets you popular. You know, there's a lot more leeway. There is just it's just so much easier in a way because of how much more is accepted. All right. But the thing is, if you still make trash content, people won't go to you. In fact, it's even worse because streams are at least for live streams, right?
Hmm.
You can't really edit it, right? You can. It's all live. It's all stuff like that. So you have to have a script, or you have to be funny on the spot. All right.
On the spot.
And pithies aren't good.
Yes, it makes me too gag.
All right. So I'm gonna replace the name with something more pleasing. All right. Maybe
Future?
possibly. Okay. All right. How is your feeling on a name like Pluras, right? Like Pluras, something like that. All right. A variant.
Pluras.
It's like pithy, but without the retarded tone.
I would say it is still bad. Pluras kind of sounds like the sound I would make if someone hit me in the stomach, poured stomach acid inside my mouth, made me gurgle, and then afterwards pegged me, not with their dog, but with their cat.
That is very true. That is very true.
It would, to me, it seems like it has to be easily roll off the tongue. If you say it 3 times over, then it sounds like you're like on LSD. I'm sorry, your name kind of shit, man.
We've gone to the point where we're actually employing machine learning to figure out alternatives to pithy, because people who pick the name pithy are they're untalented, all right, unmotivated to doing what they want to do, all right. And they'll talk a lot, but they won't do a lot. But at the same time, they're also very picky when it comes to names. Like there are, for example, Mr. Beast's name is literally Mr. Beast. Sounds like an 11-year-old on an Xbox Call of Duty Live, right, kind of thing.
Yes.
All right, but he made it work because of content. All right,
Good content.
all right. So let's say that your name is Pithy. All right, you're in a country you can't legally change it. All right. Now, what action can you do? Actually, well, if you actually make good content and gain a fan base, all right,
That seems foreign to most people that would have this deterioration of this gene.
it's really weird. All right. So a lot of people try to do his name is Pithy, right? So these guys are really dumb, but we can still get some information out of them. You know those pain scale boards, right? So 1 to 10, how much pain are you feeling? Well, and you know the feeling boards where it's like a happy face, a sad face, a frustrated face, a mad face. You gotta pick your feeling, right? It's like a combination of those. All right. There is it's a grid of just. We show them 8 at a time, so they go overloaded. They pick a genre first. All right. Most of them will pick gaming. Most of them want to do some effortless gaming. They just play a game and go, "Hey guys, I was on Instagram today, and I just saw a girl eating her own tampon that had period blood in it. Kind of gross, kind of disgusting. All right, bye guys." And then expect to make millions, right? But so now, if they choose gaming, now we actually warned them multiple times. All right. Now, in gaming, you're either lost because of bad commentary, lost because of bad gameplay. All right, and so you need one of them to make up for the other, or you need to be good at both. Dream, all right. He talks while he's playing. He has friends to be with him. He does good challenges, good topics. All right. He doesn't deep throw his mic like some people do. He's actually motivated to do it. You know, you can tell it's what he loves. He's really into the game he plays. All right. And even though like 100 of his videos are all Minecraft, people will still watch it because it's a new thing each time, and you can tell he's passionate about it, right?
I'd like to chime in about a different topic. You also major in the topic of voice modulation. Now, I want to talk to you about that. Do you think that people should randomly voice modulation? Do you think that is funny?
Random.
Like auto tune and you're just echoing without any joke behind it. Do you think that constitutes as a funny joke?
So is this like in a video scenario?
Yes, in a content farm scenario.
Content farm.
Just content in general.
All right,
Sorry.
all right.
That's
So,
controversial.
let's say that you were making a YouTube video, right? Let's say you're doing like a low-eye type of thing, you know, like where PewDiePie does. You know, you're scrolling through content, all right? And he was reading out a post, and he randomly, like, his audio started cutting out. His audio starts going high and low and right, and starts auto-tuning. You know, all of those weird effects, right? Without any context, it would be super weird, all right?
Not funny.
It would just be really
Awkward.
off, yeah.
Awkward.
All right, and so actually, all right. And another thing is, all right. A lot of people try to, like, a lot of teens especially try to rub their parts or rub themselves or rub other people, just rub things in general
Shock humor.
as yeah, funny. You know, it's like just not funny.
Random shock humor, not funny.
All right, like haha, rub pee pee. That's funny until like from ages 9 to like.
Now let me give you a situation, and I want to see what you think it would be funny if it would do so. Like, when is shock humor funny? For example, an example being, you do this in front of a girl you've recently just asked, just as a cat call, do you want me to be my girlfriend? And then immediately afterwards do that. Do you think that'd be funny in that scenario? Like, that's a prank.
You randomly ask girls, you ask them out.
Yeah. Immediately afterwards. Do you think that'd be funny or not?
Shock humor is a very precise kind of you know.
Do you
So
think the shock humor would work then?
so for example, if you were doing a prank, right, and like you drop a nickel next to next to a black guy, and you say, "Oh, look, a nickel," right? That kind of shock humor generally wouldn't work. All right. The crush one, it depends on how the person goes with it. All right. It generally depends, right?
On the reacting.
Yeah.
But you would generally say if they execute it right, it would be funny in that scenario. Shock humor could work in that scenario. With the scenario given.
That isn't really shock humor at that point. That's
well, yes,
prank humor, because the viewer knows what's going on. The crush doesn't. That's what's funny. It's what is it called? Situational ironic.
So it's a well planned out joke rather than just completely brain dead.
Shock humor would be like, oh my gosh, he randomly said something. You know.
Can I give another scenario? Look, let's say in a scenario that you were on popular website Omegle, and you were talking to women, and when you immediately run out of topics, you immediately start rubbing your bulge and nipples. Is that funny or not funny?
That is sexual harassment on like 7 different levels.
But would that constitute as funny? You do not have any bias in this, right? So I just wanted to get a professional opinion on this, because I personally find it repulsive, and that anyone that does that should get a humor class. It should probably learn from the clowns. The clowns probably do a better job.
You know, I'm gonna give you some advice. If you keep giving me these examples, I will probably kill myself with a noose over there. If you continue giving me this disgusting examples, that is absolutely repulsive, and I'm going to piss myself to thieve myself.
Okay. Making me gag in the inside. I cannot show on camera, of course. There would be puke everywhere, like completely everywhere.
Yeah,
like,
but
all over the ceilings and floor.
we actually green screened it out, so you can't see the puke right now.
This is a completely green screen sense, because everywhere, all the cameras, all the camera crew, everyone is just puking at this discussion. We have a lot of them have to actually wear earmuffs, because this discussion is so hard to swallow for the average person when it comes to good usernames, because it seems so out there that there will be people out there who would pick names like Pithy and would use such terrible humor like rubbing their nipples.
We actually had to invent something where you actually, this goes under your mask, right? It's a little little pipe, right? So you know, you breathe through your nose, and this is for eating or puking, right? So the mask goes over it, so you don't breathe any air out from your nose, right? And so a pipe goes down under your shirt, right, to a little bag, all right. And so usually people use it for eating, you know, putting M&Ms and stuff, you know. It's actually a
great spot for
you know,
puke though,
right? But if you have to puke, right, you know, you can't take off your mask. You can't just puke everywhere, you know. And that's how our crew has to puke right now. Like they're currently.
Jeremy's is leaking right now. Oh, Jeremy, take off the earmuffs for a second. We're not talking about it. Yep, Jeremy, we need you to change your shirt. If you look, there's your puke's leaking out from the outside, man. It's getting all over the set. Clean it up.
Bro. All right.
Go to the bathroom. We'll have I don't know. We'll have Duncan, get off the donuts. Come here. All right. Back to the discussion though. I think I've basically kind of wrapped up a lot of my statements I wanted to tell you.
I was Duncan, the one eating donuts.
He really likes stereotypes. He's a very big fan of them.
Yeah. You know that 50% of Duncans and 20% of Connors. Oh, never mind. I got those mixed up. 20% of Duncans, 50% of Connors are actually pithy people. All right. It's disgusting.
It's more likely inclined for those kind of people to become a pithy user. But
right.
As of right now, we are lucky to say that those numbers are very low, and anyone you know or see should seek help. They should seek professional assistance for their bad username etiquette. Take them to like a cyber class, just any like introduction to what a computer is class. There's something where they know where you don't have to use propulsive names that make no sense. It would make sense maybe if you just smashed your keyboard a little bit. Maybe you had like I don't know, a food coma after eating a big meal and you had to make a username and your ear just hit PITHY. That's how it's spelled, by the way. There are some variations of that, but at the same time, those are very less repulsive. The most repulsive we found through statistics and AI learning is PITHY. That's all I wanted to tell you guys. This is a fair warning to everyone out there. This is a PSA. Everyone should be able to get this kind of information and help. If you yourself, as a viewer, do not find a problem with the name Pithy or any of the other problems we have presented in this video, you should personally seek help. Please. You are a hindrance to your friends, family members, and overall society. Please seek help. That's the end of this podcast. It was nice to meet you.
It's been a pleasure to speak with you.
Yes.
And wait, before we go, let's leave some lasting tips. All right. So, first of all, content. If you are trying to make content, all right. Now, let's say you want to do skits. All right.
Skits.
Make a script first. Make a script. Follow the script. You know, it's literally that simple. All right. If you're finding it hard, all right. Actually, remember, edit them. So just simple trimming can work at times. Just simple trimming and maybe background audio, or just changing of the audio's frequencies. You should be able to equalize the audio. That is a very important thing, especially if you're one of those people that like to forward their mic. Yeah.
Very uncensored, by the way.
So make sure the same things you said. Don't make the music too loud. Don't make the voice too loud. Don't let's say you have really dark lighting when recording. If you can't re-record,
use filters. Currently the set is actually very, very dark light because of the fact that a lot of our camera crew currently is just unable to help right now because they're all puking as of currently. The bathroom line is just filled up.
We had to actually send some off because of COVID, right? And
we might get sued for this podcast because a lot of them are having like heart complications after hearing the name Pithy.
All right. And so another thing is actually content-wise, right? Comedy skits. We can talk about that now. Gaming, all right. Now, if you're doing gaming, there are a lot of gaming that actually work without commentary, right? But like with music in the background. Okay? Here's an example. Have you ever played a game without music? Without any audio?
Yes.
It sounds creepy. It just doesn't sound right? So music is a big part of it, all right. But also, let's say the average person who tries to record a game will actually record like 20 to even 50 minutes of gameplay. You want to cut that down to like 5 minutes of the best moments, all right? Because
dead air should never be allowed in a video.
No one is going to watch a 20-minute. All right, so it's right here. I'm just scrolling my eyes to the feed. 5 minutes. There's a 15-minute thing, but that's informational. All right, it's teaching you something. Then they're usually a bit longer. All right, look, 50 seconds even. All right, a lot of them are really short. All right, especially the 20-minute mark. If you aren't doing gaming, 20-minute mark is usually the max. All right, so if
it takes a huge amount of expertise to be able to transform these boundaries and be able to captivate the viewer no matter which area of the spectrum you are. Whether it be short to the point of maybe even 2 seconds, or be up to the high levels that is maybe an hour, 2 hours, sometimes dare I say 3 hours.
there are actually some situations where it's normal to go to an average of 50, like tutorials. You know, if it's a long tutorial, if it's a long recipe, if it's a long makeup tutorial. You know, if you're doing like a whole on clown mask, kind of makeup thing, it's gonna take a long time to like explain it and stuff. You know, person pauses it, person does the step, person continues. All right, now let's say you're doing a gaming like with commentary. All right, find the clip. All right, you're gonna have to figure out how to edit that clip in so the viewer knows. All right, all right. Commentate on the clip. Have your audio be level. All right, you don't want to whisper. You don't want to vor your mic. All right.
All right.
What else?
I think that's it, Doctor. I'd like to end it off here. I'd say we made a lot of progress to maybe a lot of people in need currently watching this. Maybe even some people you may know in your everyday life.
Sophia's not doing good.
Sophia's just having a really hard time. We might have to give her. I might have to give her like a vacation leave or.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Pleasure meeting you.
I'm gonna have to go back. Treat another kid.
Treat another kid.
Yeah, he's This kid is actually wants to be edgy. All right, but it's just not. So what he's trying to do is his whole shtick is edgy equal funny, but like most of the jokes aren't. Okay, all right. So if, for example, he's trying to make World War II jokes without even knowing any of the history. All right,
that's a big offense.
It's like, those kind of people where like, don't invade Russia in the winter. Hitler did nothing wrong. Those kind of people. All right.
Oh, 4chan users.
I'm gonna have to go, man. I have a long day ahead. All right. They actually called me Iron Stomach because of all the times I haven't puked. I actually scratched my eardrums out.
That is how you're able to sit through this podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.